Survival. Are you a survivor? Do you have what it takes to survive? Well, we'll find out in these upcoming survival games releasing for the Xbox Series X. First up on this list is The Day Before. The Day Before is upcoming MMO shooter action adventure survival third-person game being developed by Fantastic and is to be published by Montana. Let me just say this. The Day Before has been a game I have been covering since its announcement, and with every new information and gameplay trailer being released for this game, has me getting hyped even more. Now, this game is going to be a fully open world experience with zombies, driving, looting, about everything you could imagine in a real world post-apocalypse Z-Day. I mean, there's built up cities, gas stations, power lines, and players will be out trying to ambush other players, as everyone will be killing for food, water, gadgets, just endless things they can get their hand on to survive for the next day. This game is like Daisy, just more modern, with better visuals and improved graphics and more attention to details of how an actual apocalypse would actually play out in reality. And you have to do all these things while trying to survive the undead, trying to survive players and zombies. It's a lot. This game might just be the biggest game of 2022. The Day Before will be launching on these platforms: the Xbox Series X, Series S, PS5, and the PC on June 21st, 2022. Next up is Skyclimbers. Skyclimbers is an upcoming city building multiplayer survival fighting action role playing game being developed and published by Pyrothrope. Now, Skybuilders is being deemed a city building game, let's just say Minecraft without the blacky visuals. It's not, I'm just messing around. But yeah, you'll be able to build up your own city in real time and chop down trees and mine stones that will be used as building resources. You will also be able to create your own blueprint for your city, or just to create what you would imagine it to be. And when your building is finished, villagers will spawn in your stronghold, populating your city, and feel free to expand your city and grow your empire into great length, width, and heights. The game will allow you to choose from 5 different classes, all unique with their own set of skills, statistic, and also a different elemental armor and weapon set that all can be upgraded to legendary status. You will have to fight against the beasts of these lands and tame monsters that you'll find in the open world, with up to 3 monsters being able to be in your party all at once. There will also be a lot of exploring to do. Whether you choose that with a friend or in co-op or all by yourself, it's all up to you. Skyclimbers will be releasing for the Xbox Series X, Series S, PS5, PS4, Nintendo Switch, and the Xbox One on November 11th, 2022. Next up is Hazel Sky. Hazel Sky is the upcoming adventure survival platform indie game being developed by Coffee Addict Studio and is to be published by Decay, or hopefully it's Decay, I don't know, it's a weird pronunciation. Hazel Sky will have you playing as a young engineer on an adventure to accomplish his desire and face his own destiny. Now, this game will have him on an island a long way from home in the flying city of Gideon. Now, the young engineer by the name of Shane will have to deal with the trials and return as an engineer, or face being banished for being a failure. Sounds like every teenager's worst nightmare. But you won't have to do it all alone. Well, kinda. But you will have your trainee Erin. Now, it's all the roller coaster for Shane, as he has everything on the line. You'll be able to also repair machines, ranging from plane and simple things. And the plane in this game can be flown as well, so you have to fly the plane to make sure it's working, So you can also swing on zip line, climb, slide, jump around. So there's basically a lot of traversal options, and the game world graphics is just clearly a beautiful one. The game will be releasing for the Xbox Series X, Series S, PS5, Nintendo Switch, PC, and the Xbox One sometime in 2022. Next up is Elex 2. Elex 2 is the upcoming role-playing survival, action-adventure fighting shooter game being developed by Piranha Bytes and is to be published by THQ Nordic. Elex 2 will be the sequel to 2017 Elex. Elex 2 will be a completely open-world, post-apocalyptic fantasy game based in the world of Magalan, or Magalan. I know these pronunciations are getting to me. Now, the environment in this game is massive. So massive, you will need a jetpack to help you get around. But whether on land or in air, there will be a lot of predators, large and small, ready to attack. But the game will feature a lot of weapons, from explosive, energy guns, and melee weapons, so to help you defend yourself and to survive. Now, the game will also have a decent story to go along with it. After several years after the hybrid defeat, a new threat has arrived, unleashing the dangerous power of the Dark Elex onto the planet and putting the life of every living thing on the planet in danger as well. And you have to keep your family safe while trying to convince the other factions to come together to defeat the unwelcome invaders. The game will be releasing on the Xbox Series X, Series S, PS5, PS4, and the Xbox One, and the PC on March 1st, 2022. Next up is Smalland. Smalland is the upcoming survival multiplayer action-adventure indie game being developed and is published by Merge Games. Now, Smalland will have you playing in a world, but you're tiny in size compared to the majority of the things, making survival a bit more challenging. With a lot of massive creatures all over your surrounding, ready to make you the next appetizer. So it's gonna be a lot harder to survive, and to survive, you will need to craft armors and build a shelter to try and survive as long as you can, And also feel free to customize your equipment with that being your weapons, armor, gears, and your shelter. And your weapons and shelter / base can be upgraded, and the world is also filled with NPCs, so explore and find NPCs to do trade and to learn more about the world you're in. The game will also feature a dynamic weather changing system and events which can be hazardous for you. The game can be played solo or in PvE or in PvP. The game will be releasing for the Xbox Series X, Series S, Nintendo Switch, PC, PS5, PS4, and the Xbox One. The game will be releasing sometime in 2022. Next up is Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl. Stalker 2 Heart of Chernobyl is the upcoming first-person survival horror game being developed and is published by GSC Game World. Stalker 2 will be the fourth Stalker game to be released, and also the first Stalker game to ever been released on consoles. The game will feature a single-player story mode and will have multiplayer mode after launch as a free update. And with the game current development on the Unreal Engine 5, we can expect a truly next-gen experience both in the graphics and in the gameplay. The game will also have mod support. Stalker 2 is a Microsoft exclusive coming exclusively to the Xbox Series X, Series S, and PC. And with the game recent delay from April 8, 2022 to December 8, 2022, we'll have to wait a little bit longer for this one. Next up is Endling, Extinction is Forever. Endling Extinction is Forever is the upcoming survival, adventure simulation, side-scrolling indie game being developed by Hero Beat Studio and is published by Handy Games. Now, Endling is quite a sad one, as you'll be playing as the last full-grown fox, trying to raise her little cub babies in a very dangerous world, as humans are hunting for the fox for their fur. And humans are slowly making this world worse and worse by polluting the air and stealing the nature's most precious and valuable resources for their own personal gain. You and your cubs will have to be stealthy and try your best to avoid human contact, whilst also having to find food and shelter for you and your cubs. So teach your cubs how to survive so they can grow and be healthy and strong, and hopefully make it into a full-grown fox and avoid having their fate to be decided by the humans. The game will be releasing on the Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, PS5, Nintendo Switch, PS4, PC, and the Xbox One. The game will be releasing in spring 2022. Next up is Fable. Fable is the upcoming action survival role-playing adventure game being developed by Playground Games and is to be published by the Xbox Game Studio. Now, the Fable is a full-out remake of the Fable franchise, with the Forza Horizon game developers tasked with making the reboot. But knowing Playground records of making fantastic games, I have a good feeling this franchise is in great hands. Now, the reboot will still have its British humor that all previous Fable games carried. The reboot will still have the classical swords, magic, fairies, and beautiful fairy tale world. I mean, it's just a reboot. It's still gonna be the great Fable we all grew up playing, with a lot of legendary heroes, beautiful world, and well-designed villages with fantastic magical creatures, and a lot of hidden places to discover. Now, these things we can expect to see in this Fable reboot, but we'll have to wait and see what the major improvements and changes will be to the Fable franchise. The game has an anticipated release date in the late 2022 or early 2023, releasing for the Xbox Series X, Series S, and the PC. Up next is State of Decay 3. State of Decay 3 is the upcoming third-person survival adventure horror game currently being developed by Undead Labs and is published by the Xbox Game Studio. Now, there's only one trailer for this game, but here's a few assumptions and things I know about State of Decay 3 and the other State of Decay games. First up being the release date. Although it's not yet confirmed, I think we might be looking at a release between 2022 and 2023. Who knows, it could be longer, but finger crossed it's not. Now, going off of what we know about State of Decay on the franchise in general, this game will be the third main installment, and we can expect pretty similar gameplay to its predecessors, probably with a different setting as a thriller heavily implied on soil biomes and also mutant zombie creatures. The game no doubt will have a multiplayer co-op, salvaging and building bases and many more things, as these things are a common thing for the State of Decay series. But until then, we gotta wait for more information to be shared on this game, because now we have nothing to really go off of. We'll just have to wait to see what kind of news we get for State of Decay 3. The game will be releasing for the Xbox Series X, Series S, and PC. Now for the final game on this list, the Callisto Protocol. The Callisto Protocol is the upcoming single-player survival horror game being developed by Striking Distance Studio and is published by Crofton. The game is being directed by Glenn Schofield, one of the guys that worked on the Dead Space franchise. The game is set in a futuristic PUBG universe, and the game is taking place in 2320 at a prison called the Black Iron, located on Jupiter moon, Callisto. You'll be playing as a prisoner at the Black Iron trying to survive an alien invasion that was set up by the prisoner warden. The game will be releasing in 2022 and will be releasing for the Xbox Series X, Series S, PS5, and PC. Well guys, you've made it to the end of the video. That will be all for this video, but I'll catch y'all in the next one. But if you're new, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe and turn notification bell on, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, peace out.